What's going on, guys? It's Carroll from Carroll's Corner MMA podcast, and today we're joined by Brooke Evans, who's a BKFC fighter. But now you're taking a new endeavor. Brooke, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing awesome. Yeah, I'm
Glad,
getting ready to start this team boxing league. I'm still with BKFC though.
absolutely. Before we kind of dive into the team boxing, which I definitely want to hear about, I kind of want to dive into a little bit of your last fight. The last fight at the Fight Night BKFC Hammond in October 25th. Excuse me, October of 2025. The war ended in a split decision. The announcer said split decision. What was going through your mind, and how did you feel? Did you feel you had enough done to get the win?
Yeah, I felt like I had won, but when I heard split decision, she was from Chicago. So which is really close to Hammond, right? And so when I heard split decision, like the truth is like I thought like I was gonna get robbed, because I had been like in my pro career, my pro boxing, I experienced a draw once, when I was fighting the hometown girl and I definitely won, right? So like and then throughout my amateur I experienced lots of losing split decisions to people that it was their gym or whatever. So as soon as I heard split decision, I was like, "Oh, no, that's not good." And that was my first thought because I felt like to me, it didn't feel like necessarily like a split decision. So when I heard split decision, I was like, "Oh, no," you know?
Absolutely, and your opponent, she's known for being incredibly durable. And was there a moment in the middle rounds where you had to mentally reset your strategy because she wasn't going away?
Um, so I didn't feel like she wasn't going away because she was on her back foot most of the time. So I was the one initiating like the attacks, you know?
Mhm.
So, and I'm glad that the fight went that way because when I got in to that circle, it was so small. Before the fight started, and I was like, okay, this is going to go one or two ways. Like, I either get to be the one backing her up, and I was hoping that that was going to be the way it went, or I was thinking if she comes at me, I don't have a lot of space to work with, you know? So, what ended up happening though during the fight, it seemed more like she kind of fought more on her back foot, kind of trying to counter, waiting for me. But that worked out perfect for me because I felt like I could have more control without being pressured and I could pick and choose when I attacked and when I didn't. So that being said, there was like, I mean, there was times that I would get her up against the ropes and stuff. And I was surprised that she was like not, at the end of, I think it was like the third round, maybe. I feel like if I would have had 10 more seconds, I could have got her with the body shots because I was just laying into her body and it was hurting her. I could tell because she was making these noises and she was kind of pulling my head down, but I didn't really unleash until it was like the last 10 seconds. So if I would have had a little bit more time, but as far as like me changing my game plan, really what happened was it was in the third round, I think it was the third round. My hands were hurting so bad from punching her so hard in the head. You know what I mean? Like, I was like and when I went into what happened was I went into no, actually, I think yeah, I went into the 4th round, that's what happened, and I did change my game plan a little bit in that 4th round. So what I did is I was kinda waiting for her to come to me more because I was honestly just trying to give my hands a break. Because I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna maybe counter a little bit more this 4th round just to save my hands for the 5th round."
Absolutely.
And that was the round actually, I was kinda waiting for her, and, like, I slipped something that she threw, I threw some stuff to the body, and she grabbed me, in that clinch and got some uppercuts in, so that was that round, I think that was, like, the only little kind of flurry that she kinda got, with me in that round, but mostly, like I said, that was me trying to save my hands. So then what I did from there, I just started to attack her body, like, a whole lot because I knew that was not gonna hurt my hands nearly as much as punching her in the head. Because yeah, my hands were killing me.
It's funny that you talk about that because, like, a lot of people don't always talk about the punishment your body takes. Every bare knuckle fight leaves a mark, and that fight particularly was punishing. And I was gonna ask, like, how long did it take for your body, specifically your hands, to feel 100% again after that battle?
It took a while. I thought so my right hand was, like, really, really swollen, and it was really bruised and everything. So it's crazy. So after my fight, and I got stitches in my eye, which that wasn't too big of a deal, that wasn't nothing crazy. But like I said, my hands were really bothering me, and actually, I ended up getting sick. So I fought on Saturday. I got home, I guess, Sunday, and then Monday I felt really, really sick, okay, like physically sick. And I ended up going to the doctor. I went to urgent care. And of course, the urgent care doctor looked at me like what happened? And I'm like, okay, I had a bare knuckle fight. And he's all concerned. He's like, where did they do the stitches? Did you go to the hospital? Have you had a brain scan? And he's like tripping out. And I'm like, I promise I'm fine. I just am physically very ill. And I think I have whatever cold. I thought I had some sort of cold or whatever. So he was like, and he was adamant. So the urgent care I went to, they had an x-ray machine there. And he's like, and he saw my hands and stuff. He's like, just let me get an x-ray of your hands or whatever. I'm like, "Well, I'll do it while I'm here, right?" And then he like did the flu test and all that, right? So he ends up, so I get the x-ray of my hands and he comes back in. He's like, okay, you have flu, COVID, and you have a broken pinky. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, great. This is great. Like, not just one. Like, I was like, geez. So I got really sick. So that's how I ended up finding out that I had a broken pinky. Okay. And he showed me the x-ray. Cause in my mind, I'm like, it's a pinky. It
Yeah.
can't be that big, right? I'm like, whatever. He shows me the x-ray. It's like, it looks terrible now, but it was like this knuckle, it was broken, but, like, also like, jagged. Yeah, I know, right? Like, at the joint, jacked all like, off to the side, just all messed up. And he says to me, he's like, "Yeah," he said, "You're gonna have to go to the specialist, the ortho next door," he said, "'cause you'll probably need surgery." And I'm like, "My God." So I ended up going, to the ortho, like, a few days later, and then they did the x-rays, and I had to get surgery on my pinky. They had to put pins in it.
Jeez.
Because I guess where it was broken and the way it was dislocated, like, at the joint, if I wouldn't have gotten the surgery and I wouldn't have got the pins put in, I wouldn't have been able to close it.
Okay. Then
Like, it would have been like this. Yeah. It would have been, I mean, like, I can't have that, especially if I fight again.
you got
So,
in the eye.
yeah, I know. So I had to get pins put in. So to answer your question, the recovery time took a lot longer because of that.
That
'Cause
makes sense.
that was terrible. I had these giant pins. This pin that was sticking out of the top, it looked like a unicorn. Like, I had literally just sticking out my finger, right? And I had to leave it like that for, I wanna say 6 weeks, and then I finally got the pins removed, and then I had to wait another 4 weeks or 3 weeks before I could actually start using it. So that put a damper on things.
That's wild. What did the specific win over Marisol teach you about your ranking in the flyweight division, and do you feel you're now in the conversation for a title eliminator?
For a title shot. So the thing is with that, I feel like I need some more fights, 'cause, just like with boxing, like, the more people, so you gotta think, like, for, Ferreira, right? I mean, how many fights does she have? Some crazy amount.
Yeah, I have to look.
Kristen, I think, is, like, number 2. She has a lot of fights as well. So for me, I think I will be eventually 100%, but I would like to get a few more fights under my belt just for that experience so that I can feel really comfortable in that arena. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Experience.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But there are, there's 2 girls that are doing a debut fight, in Mohegan Sun, Taylor Dagner and then Baloo, I think's her last name. She comes from MMA or something, but anyway, they're my weight class, and
Okay.
it's both of their debuts. They fight on the 28th, so you best believe I'll be watching that. Because in my mind, I'm like, "Well, maybe I could fight the winner of that," you know?
Absolutely, but in the meantime, you're on a new frontier, you're in Team Combat League. Tell us a little bit about this, team boxing.
Yeah, so the opportunity like came to me for this team boxing, which actually they had kind of reached out to me a little bit last year and were asking me if I'd be interested, but it was before I had my BKFC debut. So I was like so hyper focused on that. I didn't want to do anything else. I just wanted to focus on getting my BKFC fight because that's like where my heart's at, right? And that's where I'm excited to be on that platform because I think I can really do something kind of big there with my skills and stuff. But so anyway, so they kinda came to me last year and I turned it down because I wanted to focus on BKFC. So they came to me again this year and it was kind of perfect timing because it was right when I got cleared for my finger. And I knew that BKFC probably wasn't gonna get me matched up anytime super soon, you know? Like not within the next couple months or something. And I reached out to like the matchmaker and stuff and reached out to some people with BKFC and I just explained to them, hey, I got this opportunity. The money's great. The money is really, really good with the team boxing league, and they're like, and you fight 1 3-minute round for the team, which I'll explain that a little bit in a second. But they told me they're like, go ahead, do that, make the money for the next couple months, and then we'll get you matched up as soon as you're done.
Sweet.
Yeah. So I was really excited that they were really, really cool about it, you know? But I mean,
Absolutely.
it's two completely different things. You know what I mean? It's not like it's another bare knuckle organization or anything crazy like that. I would never do that. And if anything, I feel like it's only going to make me better, and it's going to make me even more of a you know what I mean? It's going to make me just even better in bare knuckle personally.
And you're talking about the rounds, and I'm saying it's a team-based organization, and I can see like they have events coming up on March 20th, the 21st, and the 22nd. You got New York City versus Philly, Las Vegas versus LA, Houston versus San Antonio. But it says it's uses a one-round burst rather than a traditional multi-round fight. So I guess explain that and kind of how you're gonna have to adjust your engine, your game to go a full one round, a burst round.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see like what I think about it, you know? I know it's gonna be different because 'cause I'm a type of fighter, like, I love making adjustments. I like once I start to I mean, even when I went against Marisol, by the 5th round, I was so much more comfortable in there. You know, I was starting to kinda time her more and counter her, so I'm someone I love getting to go multiple rounds because it allows me to start to figure someone out. So that part will be hard because I'm only gonna be able to adjust in that round. I'm glad that I have 3 minutes instead of 2, you know, so at least I have that. Okay, so anyway, back to the team boxing league. So you have the launch rounds at the beginning, and then there's like middle rounds, and then there's money rounds at the end. And I don't know everything about it, but I do know there's a lot of strategy to it. Like, say I come out and I just destroy my girl or whatever, right? I do have an opportunity, I think, to fight one more round. Like if our coach chose to use me in the money rounds to get even more points or whatever, they can put me in those money rounds. So at the most I would fight would be 2 3-minute rounds if I get matched up in the money round. But other than that, I just get that 1 round.
So would it be against the same person, just more rounds?
It can be against the same person, or they can even switch it, I think, and put you with somebody else. Like with the okay, so the weight class I'm fighting is 126. You're allowed 4 pounds. So it's 126 to 130.0, right? So there's 2 girls for that weight class on each team. So I could possibly fight somebody else in that money round. But like I already saw the lineup for our first fight, which is on the 20th in Atlanta. And the girl I'm fighting, I'm just going to be fighting once.
Gotcha.
Our 118 girl is going to fight in the launch rounds, and it looks like she's in the money rounds because I'm assuming our coach thinks that she's going to really just dominate that girl. You see what I mean? So it's like a
Yeah.
strategy.
Okay, interesting.
I know it's kind of cool.
It kinda brings, like it's almost like a wrestling lineup, like a dual meet type situation, like, which is kinda cool, and, like, they say fighting's a very lonely or usually considered a lonely sport, but having teammates, having a team coach, and a shared scoreboard, does the pressure feel different when your performance affects your teammates, wins or losses?
I don't know yet, but so I don't know because I haven't done it yet. But
Yeah.
I do know that just a little bit I have done, like at the tryouts, meeting the other girls that are on my team, especially the other 126, which is Jenny Savage, who's done a lot of bare knuckle.
Okay.
That's my teammate, and I'm like so pumped about that because we have so much in common. We both done bare knuckle, and I can tell you that like just knowing that she's doing it too, you know, or the other girls are doing it, it gives you like a little bit more, I guess, confidence. Does that like as a team? Because it is usually a lonely thing you're doing by yourself, but I got all these other people that were all fighting on the same night, all together on the same teams. I think it's gonna make me actually feel more, like, relaxed.
That makes sense, alright. And then, after fighting bare knuckle boxing, you're gonna be doing 10 or 12-ounce gloves. Do they feel like pillows, and does the added weight actually change your shoulder endurance and punch speed?
So there'll be 8-ounce gloves is what we're
Okay,
gonna use, which is fine. I fought in 8-ounce because when I fought in Kentucky, it was 8-ounce, and then where else was it? Indiana, I used 8-ounce too for my pro debut, and then there was another place I did 10. But anyway, so I've done 8, and I don't know, it's so different because it definitely doesn't feel like a pillow. Not at all. Not at all. Like, I mean, I guess it depends on who you're fighting, but the one fight I had with the 8-ounce gloves, she hit really hard, and it felt like a cinder block hit me in the face. But it's so different from the bare knuckle pain. It's like 2 different kinds of pains.
I'm
And
sure.
I can say that I'm obviously much more used to the boxing glove because when you get punched with a boxing glove, it's like it's this huge wave of pressure that goes from like if you get hit with a good blow, it'll go from the front like all the way back to the back of your head because it's like a big surface area. It's a larger surface area, so it's more energy and stuff that's going through your head. So actually, I think that you can end up with more concussions and stuff and more brain issues than you actually can from bare knuckle. But bare knuckle, phew, bare knuckle just like stings. It's a whole nother.
So violent looking.
It hurts, man.
Believe it. I believe it.
And, like, it hurt the whole time. Well, finally, the 5th round wasn't so bad because I knew it was the last round. So I was like, "This is it," right? But all the other rounds, I was like, "Man," every time I sat down in between rounds, I had some new injury, whether it was the cut or a giant knot or, my hand. It was rough. Very, very rough.
Now you like you said, you might fight multiple times in one night. How do you handle the adrenaline dump between rounds when you're waiting for your next turn in the ring? Like, obviously, you haven't done this yet, but is that something you're gonna prepare for in your training?
Yeah, so well, the way I've been kinda changing my training up, so typically I would spar like, okay, so for the bare knuckle fight, for example, it's 5 rounds, 5 2-minute rounds. So I would at least spar 7, 8 hard rounds in a row, right? Especially in my fight camp when it was getting close. What I'm doing now is I'll do like 2 3-minute rounds in a row as hard as I can and as many punches and volume, and then I'll take a rest for a round or 2 and then do another one. So I've definitely changed up my training some to be, I guess, more like explosive but longer rest.
Okay.
Well, no, it'll be different. I'll just have to make sure that, I warm up good, I think will be my main thing, especially because 'cause I'm 38, so it takes me a little bit to get myself going and get warmed up,
Okay.
so I think a good warm up is gonna be important for me, and if I have a long 20-minute break or something, just chill, but make sure I get myself going so I don't get too cold.
Absolutely. And does the high volume point scoring nature of team boxing help your BKF game? And are they two completely different animals that you have to keep separate in your mind?
I think it goes hand in hand, I really do. In fact, if it wasn't for my boxing background and my ring IQ and my boxing stuff, I wouldn't have done as well in my BKFC fight, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, I think this is just gonna enhance that, like, 100%, because it's just gonna get me smarter. I'm gonna get so many looks, like, I'll get even though I only get the 1 round, right? I fight 8 different times, I think, in the next, like, whatever it is, 3 months, 3.5 months, or it's like every 2 weeks, I'm doing another fight and I'm seeing another girl, and I could see 2 different girls in one night or whatever. So it's like, I'm gonna and trying to make those adjustments and just getting those I just feel like any experience is good experience, especially on a bigger platform like that where it's like a fight night, not just sparring.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we're kind of shifting gears, like the schedule, you're effectively balancing two different professional fighting careers simultaneously. What does a typical double duty training week look like you to ensure you don't burn out?
Okay, that's I'm glad you brought that up because 'cause I'm trying to figure that out right now. Because I had to really put myself in gear for this first fight for the team boxing league, just because I came off that injury, right? And so when I went to the tryouts for it and all that and did the sparring, which I didn't have to go to the tryouts, but I still went just because I wanted to see where I was at, against the girls because they really just wanted me on the team and stuff, and I'm glad I went, but anyway, I had to lose a lot of weight. So I had to lose a lot of weight, because I had gained a lot of weight, with my hand, and I was just chilling and eating anything and everything I wanted to. I love food. So anyway, so what I've done the past couple weeks and then I was really sick, had this nasty cough. So I've been really working hard the past couple weeks as if it was one of my fight camps for BKFC, right? But I know that I can't keep that I can't keep this up for the next however many months. That's too much. But I'm hoping that once I get myself like plateaued, right? And once I have this first fight and I kind of can evaluate where I'm at with my like, my cardio and all that for the 3-minute round, then I'm just gonna kind of maintain. So I'll probably continue hitting sprints at least 3 days a week. But if I have an extra rest day here or here, it's not gonna be a big deal
That makes
because I don't wanna burn myself out, and with me being older, I don't wanna up the chances of injuries and all that stuff, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And You were saying, you love eating. What's your guilty pleasure? What's the food that you were crushing while you had some time off healing?
Like, I love sweets and cookies,
Okay.
like, all different kinds of cookies. I mean, I love fast food too. I mean, but I can take it or leave the fast food, but when it comes to the sweets and candy and the cookies and all that stuff.
What is your go-to cookie? Like chocolate chip, oatmeal raisin, do dough, you got the Girl Scout cookies?
I love when those come out. Well, I love, like, baking, like, the Toll House cookies. You know, you can get the tub of the Toll House
Oh,
cookie dough that you can bake. But me and my son, we, like, eat half the tub, just the cookie dough, and then we bake, like, maybe 12 cookies out of it. But honestly, I'll get old school Chips Ahoy
oh, nice.
cookies, like, with milk and stuff, or, like, the EL fudge cookies, the Keebler ones that have all the fudge in between. I love those too.
Nice. I thought you were about to crush some milk and then crush a cookie.
No, it's my big old water jug because 'cause I'm trying to drink a lot of water.
That's funny. Do you consider yourself a bare knuckle boxer or fighter who boxes or a boxer who fights bare knuckle boxing? And which feels more natural to you?
That's a good question. So, I guess I'm a boxer. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'm a boxer who fights bare knuckle because, I mean, that's what I got started in is boxing, and that's what I've always done, but the thing is, I think that I'm a better bare knuckle fighter than I am boxer, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
Fair enough. Yeah, absolutely.
I think that my style, my aggression, when I fought my bare knuckle fight, it just fit, and I did really well considering I had never fought bare knuckle before, you know what I mean? I mean, street fights and stuff, but a bare knuckle fight, it just came like second nature, to be honest. Even the clinch stuff, it's not like I had worked on clinch stuff, obviously, because I knew that I was gonna have that BKFC fight, so I tried to add some of that in the training, but I mean, a lot of that stuff just came naturally to me, thank goodness, you know?
Absolutely. And now that we're in March 2026, what is the big goal? Is it TCL, the team boxing league championship with your team, or is it a specific name that you want to see across from you in the BKFC?
So the goal this year, I am gonna, while I'm doing the team boxing league, obviously put my all into that. And BKFC told me, right, that they won't match me up until I'm done. So I can just completely focus on that. So I want to gain a lot of experience. I want to do really well and be a team player with everything and enjoy the experience to the fullest. But I do want to have like my other bare knuckle fight not long after. So because I'm fighting at the 126, 130, and in bare knuckle I fight 125, so that's gonna be perfect. When I stop this league and it's over, my weight will be at a perfect spot. I'll already be in really good shape. So I'm hoping to jump right into a bare knuckle fight after. Like I was telling you with my next bare knuckle fight, I mean, I'm down for whoever they wanna match me up with. But I'd love to get somebody that we kinda got the same experience, you know, same amount of fights type of thing. Because 'Cause I've heard that it's like once you have 4 or more bare knuckle fights, you really start to get real seasoned in there.
Okay,
So,
that makes sense.
yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna be watching these 125 girls, the 2 debuts that are on the 28th. They're fighting the day after my first fight for a team boxing league. It's Mohegan Sun, it's the day after, so I'm definitely gonna be watching them.
Okay. And
Got my maybe one of them.
all right, so you get to relax after a night of fighting. But what team are you fighting for in the team boxing league?
The Nashville Smash, Tennessee.
Okay, cool. And that's where
Yep.
you're from is Nashville?
Actually, no, I live in Kentucky. I live in Northern Kentucky, which is, like, close to Cincinnati, Ohio.
All right.
It's about 4 hours to Nashville.
All right, so not too far.
No, it's not too bad. The home fights are all gonna be in Nashville, and then we fly out of Nashville for all the away fights. But the nice thing is I get, like, most of my travel and stuff covered and all that, so that's good.
Awesome. Anyone you wanna recognize, any sponsors or, anyone you wanna give a shout out to?
I've been getting some sponsors for the team boxing league because I had to get a bunch of medicals. So I want to give a shout out to all my sponsors. I've had quite a few already. I don't even know all the names. But definitely a shout out. It seems like I get a lot of the same supporters for all my fights, and I love that. And it helps so much because I did not get my medicals covered for this team boxing league, so it was, like, expensive, so I've got some sponsorship to help that. I also wanna talk about for each of my home fights, because as you know, like, I'm in recovery and stuff, and so each of my home fights, I'm getting 10 tickets sponsored to my home fights for 10 people that are in recovery.
Awesome.
Yeah, so, like, my first home fight, I think, is April 17th, and, there's a car lot down the street, and they're in recovery, which is awesome, and he's become my friend because he helped sponsor me for some BKFC stuff, Advantage cars, and they're gonna sponsor the first 10 tickets, for that home fight, and then I'll give them away to people that are in recovery. So, I'm really excited about that, and I'm gonna get a different, different, you know what I mean, like, recovery-based community type thing to sponsor each different fight, and then post about it and all that stuff.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how you're giving those away and how you're trying to bring more awareness to that as well. That's awesome, and I appreciate hopping on. Last question: is there anything about you that nobody knows and you want to share?
Oh, no. I don't know. I feel like I'm a pretty open book. Well, I can say this. Huh?
Doesn't have to be fighting related.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say, I mean, this is like not it's a vacation I'm getting ready to take with my son, but I'm pumped. We're going to the Grand Canyon in
Sweet.
April during so I mean, I guess that's what I can use. Yeah, so I'm really excited to yeah, take the trip with him. Because I've got to travel a lot here recently and I wanna be able to take him somewhere. So we're going to
Yeah.
the Grand Canyon with my dad and I'm like so pumped about it. So
Yeah, wonder of the world, right? That's
yeah.
nice. Well, Brooke, I appreciate hopping on and taking the time to chat about this. I'm looking forward to watching you fight in the team boxing league. How can people watch this and watch you compete?
I'll be posting because 'cause I'm not 100% sure. I know that there's gonna be an app, like a streaming type service that you can download,
Okay.
and I don't even think it costs anything, to be honest, and you can download this, and you can watch all the team boxing, all the different, teams and everything live, but I also know that, like, right after my fight or right after our fights, it'll be on YouTube. You can watch it for free on there too.
Awesome.
So, but I'll definitely be posting, for the app and everything that you can watch it live on.
Absolutely. And when this is all over and right before you get in the ring again for BKFC, we'll have to get on here and chat about your upcoming fights.
Yes, hopefully they get me matched up soon, like, after the league's done, because I can't wait to get back in there. I just feel like it's made for me. I feel like I don't know. I'm excited about that.
Absolutely. Well, Brooke, I appreciate you coming on. This is Brooke Evans on the Carroll's Corner MMA podcast. Appreciate it and best of luck on the 27th.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
See ya.